living shy, could they really dime me? Bad bitches in line, they be really trying. They ask me if I'm high, I say really.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is Nikki here. So today I have this makeup look. This is my summer makeup look that I am absolutely digging. It's colourful, it's pretty, it's summery, it's girly, it's everything that I really like. It's not another warm look for you guys, but you guys really requested this. I wore this in one of my previous videos, which I think I was just testing out the Fix Plus, and it's been my go-to makeup look if I'm going out, seeing as it's really hot and beautiful now, and you guys wanted to see it. I got so many questions on what eyeshadow I was wearing and what makeup I was wearing that I really needed to do a video. So I hope you guys really enjoy this video. If you want to see how I created this makeup look, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I'm just going to start off by putting on some lotion. I'm going to be using an illuminating lotion just because I want that dewy, really fresh, kind of healthy glow that I like for the summer. I'm going to be using the GLAMGLOW Glow Starter Mega Illuminating Moisturiser, and this is in the shade Sun Glow, and I'm just going to take a little bit of this, pop it all over my face and take it down to my neck and chest area. Okay, so now that we are heavily moisturized, I've said it before in a previous video, but I'm going to say it again. This stuff just for the scent of it smells so nice. If I had like a really big tub, I'd probably use this all over my body because it does give you like a really healthy plump. I feel like on days that I'm not going to wear makeup, I just wear this and my skin still looks healthy. It'd be really nice for holiday as well when you're wearing no makeup at all. So next I'm going to go in, I've not used this in a hot minute, but I'm going to be using the NYX Liquid Illuminator Born to Glow in the shade Gleam, and I'm going to pop this on all the high points just to really add to that illuminating factor. I want my skin to look dewy, fresh. I don't want to put too much foundation on, so I want the skin to do all of the work underneath. So I'm just going to pop this on the high points of my face, and then I'm just going to blend it out using my fingers. Okay, so for some reason I've been missing the step of primer altogether. I don't know why. I don't feel like it does much or adds much to my skincare, or not even my skincare, but to my foundation routine. So I'm going to skip that altogether. You can now go ahead and add primer if you want, but I'm going to go in with my MAC Face and Body. This is in the shade C5. It's almost finished, so I'm just going to use the last remainder bits of it just because I want a really nice dewy lightweight finish on the skin, and then we'll go in and add coverage with our concealer. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the face and body, pop it all over the skin, blend it down my face and down my neck and chest area. So I must say, recently guys, I've been loving like using brushes to do my foundation. Not my concealer. I like to do my concealer with a sponge, but I like to do my foundation with a brush and really buff it into the skin. I feel like that's how I'm going to get the most natural look as opposed to layering on with a blending sponge. I've been loving these masked brushes. The one that I'm using right now is the buffing brush. They were kind enough to gift me like a humongous box full of brushes, and I really love them. I love their brushes. I'm not being sponsored. I wish I was being sponsored. I'm not being sponsored to say this, but they are just really good quality brushes, and they have like loads of different kits, and the buffing brush is probably my favorite one. Okay, so now that we are done with foundation, I like to stay with staples that I know are going to work, especially for the summer, ones that are going to help with the heat, the humidity, but also they're going to help with the longevity, because personally I don't like touching up my makeup. Like, I rarely look at my makeup. Once I'm out the door, that is it. I carry a little bit of makeup on me on nights out, so I will just carry lipstick, but I hate touching up my makeup. So for concealer, I'm going to be using my Holy Grail concealer. It is going to be the MAC Pro Longwear concealer. I like to mix the shades NC45 and NC25. They just kind of create a really nice tone for me, I suppose, and I come across this by fluke. I just tried it out one day because I'd run out of my NC42, which is what I usually use, and this worked out so much more better. So I'm going to be mixing these two bad boys together, and then use my using my beauty blender, I'm just going to pop this underneath my eyes, and then just a little bit around my mouth as well, just so I get a really nice blank canvas. Okay, so let me just tell you guys, if you guys are looking for a concealer that you want that is going to be high coverage, but it's not going to be too thick, like a cream, like Studio Finish by MAC, then you want to go for Pro Longwear. Honestly, it hides your dark circles incredibly, and on me, I don't really find that much creasing unless I really pile it on throughout the day. But if I powder a little bit, it doesn't crease at all. I love this concealer. If they discontinued it, like, you know, MAC like to discontinue things. If they discontinued this, I literally don't know what I would do. If I found out they were gonna, I'll probably bulk buy this concealer, because is my holy grail. I love it so much. You guys know that I use it all the time on this channel. Okay, so let's go in with a little bit of highlight. Another holy grail concealer of mine, I think I've only got two, would be the Urban Decay All Nighter Concealer. I really like the shade Medium Light Warm for highlighting. So I'm going to be using this. The only thing with this is it runs out very quickly, like the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, which is pretty annoying. But I mean, if you love it so much, you're gonna buy it again. It's just a really good concealer. I find that it makes my under eyes look really flawless and really smooth as well. So I'm gonna pop this in all the high points of the face and then blend it out using the same beauty blender. Okay, so now that we're looking pretty flat, everything's looking one-toned, I'm too highlighted, I need to add a little bit of color back into my skin. I need to bronze. The bronzer that I've been loving is not actually a bronzer, it's a foundation stick by Makeup Revolution. This is the Fast Base stick and it is in the shade F13. I love this because not only is it like cream based, I love cream based bronzers, I absolutely love the tone of this. I love the tone on my cheeks, I love the tone on my eyes, I love the tone on my lips. I just love the colour of it. It's quite subtle, it's very summery. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that same buffing brush that I used to apply my foundation and then just add some of the pigment onto my brush and then just brush it all over just to really warm up my skin and give me more of a tan bronzy look. I guess the reason why I think I like working with a cream bronzer is because I don't know, I really like the feel of emollient products on my skin. I have more of a dehydrated skin type, like I've told you guys so many times, but I feel like anything that I put on my skin that is practically even a little bit dewy will go matte on me, and I feel like this will just settle into my skin. I also feel like it looks more natural, and I feel like when you move you can see the sheen, which gives you a natural highlight as well, which I really like about it. Okay, so I've moved you guys closer to me because we're going to move on to the fun stuff, which is like the eyes, the cheeks and the lips. But to start off, I'm going to do brows. I like to do my brows with the Anastasia brow pomade. This is in the shade Dark Brown. And I just like to take an angle brush and then just fill in all of the gaps. My brows are fairly full already, so I just like to fill in the gaps, and then I'm just going to brush them through using a spoolie. Okay, now I'm going to set these brows in place so they don't fly off. I'm going to be using the EYEKO brow gel. This is just a tinted brow gel. And I'm just going to be popping this all through the brows to set them. Okay, so listen, I get quite a few comments on my brows, people telling me that my brows are too big, that I've overlined my brows. I have to overline a little bit here just because my hair's a little bit sparse at the top and I like them to be bigger. I like them, my mum likes them. They're the only two opinions that matter in my life. So, I mean, we like the brows, we like the brows. Okay, so once the brows are intact, I like to clean them up. I feel like, I don't know what it is, the feeling of just cleaning up your brows and blending that concealer out, I don't know, it's like heaven. It looks so nice. I like the look of it and it looks really sharp and clean. So I'm going to be using the GELLAR, the Real Deal Concealer. This is the Serious Coverage in the shade Medium. And I like to use this not only just to shape out my brow, but also just to prime my eyelid, ready for my eyeshadow to go on. So I'm going to be using this little kind of angled brush. It's kind of like a flat brush but then angled, so it makes it easier to go underneath the brow, and I'm just gonna cut out my brows, shape them, and then prime my whole lid as well, and then just blend that all out using a damp beauty blender. Listen, there is just something about a really clean eyebrow, isn't there, when you've concealed it underneath. I don't know what it is, there's just something about it that I really like. Okay, so now I'm just gonna quickly take some powder. This is just some loose powder. It doesn't matter what powder it is. I like to use a translucent or a transparent one just because you want to set that concealer in place. We're going to set it with a fluffy brush just to prime the eyelids before we put any eyeshadow down. Okay, so when I did this look, I used multiple colors. We went through different palettes, but I'm going to simplify it today just to kind of more or less get the same look. I'm going to go into my I Love Makeup 24 Karat Gold eyeshadow palette. I love this palette. I just like all the colors in it. I think they're so very me. I'll use them on a daily basis. It's a really good one if you're going on a holiday, you just want to grab one palette, you don't want to take a few. It's got all them warm tones, summery colors in it. So I'm just going to go in with this kind of lightish color to start off with. I'm going to mix it a little bit with the brown just because I'm going to be popping this into my crease and I want a little tiny bit of definition, but nothing too dark. So just mixing these two colors and popping it in to the crease. Okay, so once our transition has been laid, you can see that I've got a little bit of pigment, enough that you can see it, but it's very soft. I would say that this kind of transition color I would use for multiple looks, not just this look, but if you're doing like a brown smoky eye, a warm bronze, even like a colorful one, I like to have a really nice neutral transition in my crease. Next, I'm going to be using this KYLIE eyeshadow. It was in, I believe, like her Valentine's collection. This is in the duo Kiss Me, and I'm going to be using the colour that is called Sweet Thing. It's probably my favourite peachy coral undertoned colour eyeshadow, if that sort of makes sense, of all time. I love it. I can't find a dupe for it at all. It's just a beautiful matte shade and I love it. So I'm going to be taking a little bit of this shade. Don't worry, we're going to be popping another shade over the top, but I like to have this shade because it's a little bit deeper, and I'm going to be popping this all over the lid and then just using that 224 brush by MAC just to buff it out. I'm just going to take this colour and just run it on my lower lash line as well. So I think you guys will agree that this is like a beautiful, like it's perfect for summer. It's colourful enough. It's not crazy because you guys know I don't do crazy just yet, but I like it for the summer, but just because it's a lightweight colour. I like them colours that I like to wear on my eyes and my lips and my cheeks, and this is one of them shades that I will be wearing on all of my face. I think it's called a monochromatic look. And I really like them. Okay, so just to amp these eyes up a little bit, I felt like when I wore this look, the eyes were a little bit darker for my liking. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the Revolution blush palette. This is the blush palette in Hot Spice. And I am a sucker for putting blusher on my eyelids. I think it's so beautiful. I love the tones of blushes and they look really nice up against a tan skin. So I am going to go in with this shade right here. It's a pink corally shimmery shade. I'm going to load that up on my flat brush and then I'm just going to pop this on the lid, all over the lid, just to add a little bit of oomph to the lids. So that is practically it for the eyeshadow. I want to add a little bit of inner corner highlight, which I didn't do on my last look that you guys asked me to recreate, but I feel like it's so very me. I just want to add a little bit of glow in the inner corners, and for this I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty 3D highlighter palette, and this is in the Golden Sands one, I believe. I'm going to be taking this shade right here, which is called Zanzibar. I'm mixing it a little bit with Seychelles, just on this really small makeup brush, and then just popping it into my inner corners. Let me just take a little bit of this highlighter and pop it on my brow bones as well. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take the thinnest black liner that you possibly can find, and I'm going to do a really thin line on my top lash line because I don't want you to see the liner. It's black and it's harsh. It's just because when we add lashes, I want to be able to hide that lash band. We're not doing no wing, no nothing. We just want to keep it really summery, really fresh, but we just want a little bit of definition to the eyes. I'm just going to be adding a little bit of mascara. This is the Maybelline Lash Sensational, just on to my lashes. Okay, so my lashes of choice and the lashes that I've been loving recently are the Velour lashes. These are in the style Girl You Crazy. They're really wispy, they're fluffy, they're not too thick, they're not too long. They just look really nice. So I'm going to be popping these bad boys on and I'll come right back to you. Okay, so once you've got them bad boys on, I'm going to add some mascara on my lower lashes. For this, I use a different mascara. I like the MAC Extended Play Lash just because it's a narrow stern, like, you know, like a hard bristle brush, and it really allows you to comb through your bottom lashes. So I'm just going to pop this bad boy on my bottom lashes. Okay, so I kind of have a rule when it comes to bottom mascara. I always say the heavier the lash at the top, the heavier you go at the bottom. So if I had really thick lashes on the top, or they were really long, then I would smoke out my lower lash line further down and I would go heavier on the mascara. But if your lashes are a little bit more neutral and they're just kind of wispy and fluttery, then you just do one coat and you just coat your natural lashes. Always works for me because you want to be balanced on your eyes. You don't want to be too top heavy. Okay, now it's time for blusher. I feel like blusher is appropriate for this look. And of course, we're going to use the same colors that we used on the eyes. So I'm going to go into that Revolution blush palette and take this pink. I'm going to mix all the pinks together, to be honest, just to give us a really nice pink shade. And I'm going to apply it to the apples on my cheeks, just using this MAC 188 stippling brush, and give us a really nice flush to the cheeks. So I feel like one thing is really important. You know, when you're doing your makeup, I feel like brushes are so important. A brush like this, which is a stippling brush, is going to allow you to pick up enough product but not overdo it. So when you're doing blush, you obviously don't want to go in with a lot of blush because it's difficult to blend it all out if you put on too much. This way, with this brush, you can layer the powders and you can add as much as you want and softly diffuse it out. I don't know, I feel like brushes is like a big thing when it comes to makeup. If you use the wrong brushes, you're not going to get the same kind of application. Speaking of brushes, I've been using this masked big brush. This is just the powder brush for highlight. I'm loving using a big brush because I feel like the highlight goes in soft focus. It's not too prominent, but it's just like a really nice juice. So what I'm going to do is go into that Huda Beauty 3D palette again, mix the two Zanzibar and Seychelles again on my powder brush, and then I'm just going to start buffing that over my cheeks and then just take it down the center of my face to give me a really nice healthy glow. Okay, so for lips, I want to practically get the same color as my eyes on my lips. So I'm going to start lining my lips, but I'm going to use a deeper color. This is just a NYX lip pencil in London, just to give me a little bit of an outline to work with. We're just going to line the lips with this bad boy. Okay, so once I've done this step, I'm going to go in with the NYX lip pencil. This is in the shade San Diego. It's practically the same color as my eyes, so we're just going to use this color to fill in the whole lip. Okay, just to finish the lips off, I'm going to take a little bit of this Revolution Matte Liquid Lip in the shade Buff. It's a little bit more pink. I'm just going to pop it in the center and then just buff that bad boy out. Using my Fix Plus in the scent Rose, I'm just going to spray this all over the face. And now just to finish this look off, I'm going to take a little bit of my iconic London Prep Set Glow. This is in the shade Glow. Love this for my body. Look how beautiful it is. I'm just going to spray it all over my chest just to give us a little bit of shimmer. And that is it, guys, for my summer look. I love it. I think it's colourful. I think you can wear it. I think it's going to look really beautiful if you've got a really deep skin tone as well. It was highly requested, so I wanted to recreate it for you guys, and I hope you really enjoyed it and you learned something new. As per usual, leave me all your comments down below. Leave me a request down below as well. I do read them all. I go through them on a daily and like them all. So do leave them all down below. Stalk me on my social handles, which will also be left down below. And until next time, I will see you in my next video. Mwah.
All my diamonds shine, could they really diamonds? Bad bitches in line, they be really trying. They ask me if